There's just a lot to remember.
All right. Okay, guys. All right. So thank you for hopping on here today. I am Tammy Battaglia. For those that don't know me, my special guest today is Sandra Delbeck. She's over there according to my screen. I'm not sure if she's on your screen that way, but we're going to talk about vision boards today. So the reason that we're covering vision boards specifically today is because a couple of days ago, Sandra sent me a message and was like, hey, I finished. She had been working on her vision board. She's like, I've updated my vision board and my accomplishment board. And I was like, well, that's the perfect time to talk about it. So before I pull Sandra on here, what I want to talk about, uh-oh, we got somebody not muted. Hang on. Sometimes this is hard. Mute. Okay. So, uh-oh. I am normally much better with this technology, but for some reason, people must be unmuting themselves. As you're coming on, I purposely have you muted. So try and stay that way for me, please. It makes it easier on Zoom to record. All right. So in my mind, there's two types of people when it comes to vision boards. There's the people who totally believe in the law of attraction and they're, yes, that's it. That's totally their thing. And then there's the group of people who think it's a bunch of hubba bubba, but they've heard about it and they're not sure. So what I want to do first is appeal to those of you who think it might be a bunch of bull malarkey. And I'm going to just bring it to you in the most hands-on way I can think of. A lot of you may not know this about me, but I actually graduated college with an interior design degree. And all interior design and architecture, all that really is communicating a vision. So early on in a project, we would do what they would call a theme board. That's when you would come to your client with just your ideas, kind of like, just wanting to get their brain to start marinating in the direction you're feeling. And then as the project would get closer and closer and closer and closer, you get to all the way down to where you're doing like 3D models. And to help communicate that vision, the more detailed you got, the better the client could understand it. So, everything down to like the thickness of a tile or the color of the knobs on, a desk, the texture of a ceiling tile. The more detailed we got, the better we were communicating what we were visualizing. And again, pretty much any, look outside your window. If you're in your car, look at your car right now. Your car started as a vision. It did not just pop out of nowhere someday. It was someone's vision. So really, life is just about bringing visions into reality. And so that's like the most, liberal, analytical, way to do it. And the other thing I want you to think about, because some people kind of question the power of the mind if you've never really experienced it. So I just want to tell you a little story about this chocolate cake that it's like 2 or 3 layers tall. It has this mousse filling in the middle. It's got this like drizzly, fudgy stuff on top. And now I want you to tell me if you're thinking about chocolate, if your belly is thinking about chocolate. And I'm going to say it probably is, because that's how our brains work. When we visualize something in our head, it starts to become real to us. So keeping those factors in mind, keeping the fact that no matter what, when we're talking about a vision board, it is just your way of communicating to yourself visually what your goals are. So you'll see me looking around. I have several vision boards around the room, but I'm looking to the left. And at one time I just had this little thing that said I would love to have a pool. Now I actually have a picture of a pool and I have the dimensions jotted down next to it. And I even have the word home written on it. So it's not like that's just like a pool at someone else's house I would go to visit. That's like my pool at my house. And this is how big it should be because this is what will fit my yard. So that's a very detailed visualization for me to communicate with myself. And I have the thing, and this one actually came true, which is something Sandra's going to talk about, not just vision boards, but accomplishment boards. I'm staring at one that says 0 balance on my BP credit card. And that was up there for 2 years. And now it has big exclamation points by it because my BP credit card is paid off. And that was one of those things that was haunting me. So I just want you to understand that your vision board is so powerful because it really does communicate to your mind. And now I know there's another group of people who are like, no, it communicates it to the universe and it brings it about. And I totally get that too. And I'm a huge fan of the law of attraction, but I just want to kind of be nooks and crannies here with people in case you're not into that. Because regardless of what side you're on, vision boards are powerful. All right, so with that, I want to turn it over to Sandra. I want her to talk about the process that she's been going through recently. She was actually one of the gals that got to go on the leadership retreat a few weeks ago. And I know one of the things they talked about were vision boards and accomplishments. So I'm going to have her share some of that with us and then have her walk you through the process that she's been going through to create these vision boards that you can see behind her. Actually, if you're seeing her right now, you'll see it behind her head. So Sandra, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, thanks, Tammy, for having me on to do this. So there's a few things that I'm super passionate about when it comes to Thrive and this business, helping our customers thrive for free, and your vision boards and having your visions in front of you and so forth. So for those of you who may be new since, January, February on, you may not know exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about this leadership retreat. We have our uplines. A lot of them are in Texas, and Lindsay and Susan, two of our 200Ks, had put out, like at the end of January, beginning of February, a challenge for all of us to earn this leadership retreat. And what we simply had to do was turn in our numbers for our new volume each week, our new customer volume and our new promoter volume. And I'm going to be honest, there was one week I forgot to turn in a $400 new promoter order, and I cried. I missed the deadline because we had a deadline. So it was on us to get those numbers turned in. But I had in my mind, and I had on my goal and in my calendar, that I wanted to earn this retreat. And I messaged them about a month before it was finished, and I said, how many are y'all taking? And they were like 14 to 16. And I was like, I mean, y'all, I'm one of like 10,000 promoters they have between everybody on their teams. And so the chances of me earning this were like 0 to nothing. I mean, I didn't have a great chance, y'all, at all. 3 weeks before when the list came out, before the contest was over, I was like number 16 or 17, something like that. I was like, oh man, busting it. And you know what? Like the last week or so, I didn't have any new volume, and I was peeing in my pants. And the list came out, and I wasn't on it. And I was like, okay. Somebody had volume, and I was kicking myself that I hadn't turned in that 400, that I'd missed that deadline. And a few days later, I got a message, and it said, hey, you're the next step on the process, right? And I was like, I have won the lottery. And I called Lindsay, and I'm like, how far down on the list was I? She said, you were the next one by $200. I'm like, oh my gosh. So y'all, I mean, I had this vision in my head that I was going to be there at that retreat. And by the grace of God, I made it to that retreat. I didn't care how much my plane ticket was going to be. By golly, I was going to that. And being able to be with these leaders, and I mean, y'all, there were people, we had folks who were 4K, brand new in the business, all the way up to seasoned 200Ks. And just hearing the ideas from everybody was phenomenal. We talked a lot about helping our customers thrive for free, in your visions and so forth. So I want to talk now about your vision boards, but just know that whatever you want to achieve, you can make it happen. So let me start with this. Number one, a vision board does not have to be some fancy schmancy thing. It's whatever works for you. Lindsay's very first vision board that she showed us, I remember, it was on a yellow poster board, and it had chicken scratch all over it. And I've seen vision boards. I mean, I recently made one, and it looked so pretty. But y'all, it was so busy that my undiagnosed ADHD couldn't handle it. I couldn't focus on what was important. And I was like, all right, nix with that one. And then I got to thinking, what vision board worked the best for me before? And it was simply a smaller dry erase board with my goals over on the side. And it was a very archaic board. And I had little goals on that board, and I had huge goals on that board. And here's where, which I'll get to that in a second. The first thing you got to think about is your why. And you hear the leaders talking about that all the time. What is your why? Your why is why you are, doing this business and so forth. And some of you may be thinking, I don't know what my why is. And there are times that you may kind of get in that little rut, like, I don't know, what is my why? Is my why my family? Is my why the fact that I want to share what this product does for people because of what it did for me? It got my butt up off the couch, I can tell you that. So I was reading something, you know how we like to go through the quotes and stuff like that. And it said, pray, then plan. Don't plan and then pray about your plan. And so if you're not sure what that why is or what your vision is, pray about it a little bit and see what is it that maybe the Lord wants you to go in what direction, or, you know, however you find your best spiritual being. And so, number one, your vision board doesn't have to be fancy. It can be. If you like the artwork and stuff, go for it. I still need to add my pictures. I've got to add like maybe 4 pictures, and that's it. Otherwise, my brain will be all over the place. Pray about what your plan is. And here's something that I looked up actually on Pinterest when I was doing my last vision board, because I had all these different ideas. And you can think about it in categories. And so jot this down if you want to. You know, you have the category of family, fun, faith, health, home, and you may have some money goals. Like Tammy wanted to clear off that BP credit card. That was a money goal for her. And so when you know, if you're thinking, I don't know what my vision's going to be, what my goals are going to be, these are some great places to start with, and you'll be surprised at where these can lead you. Mine are in a random order up here. They're not necessarily, you know, all in home, all in family. It's kind of a random order. One thing that I want y'all to remember, and I know it can be really hard seeing what is the big picture that this company has for not only what Thrive is doing for people, but what Thrive and this company can do for you. I know it's hard to see that vision when we're like a little raindrop in the whole umbrella of things, but y'all, the vision is huge for this company, and I want y'all to dream big. No small goal on that board is going to be too small, because small goals lead to great big accomplishments. And put some things on there that Lindsay would say scare the heebie-jeebies out of you, okay? So I want to tell you a couple of goals I had on my last vision board that I really thought truly would happen maybe 3 to 5 years down the road. And this vision board was written about 2 years ago, so about one year or so into my Thrive experience. I wanted to be able to travel to Texas anytime I needed to or wanted to. I wanted to be able to retire from teaching. And I wanted to be able to have some time freedom for my family, because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And this is my 2nd year of not starting a teaching career. I retired at the end of last May, a little over a year ago. In the last year, I have been to Texas probably, I'm going to say 7, 8 times, which, by the way, Texas is my home. So I got to preface that. Some of you are going, why in the world does she want to go to Texas? So that's my home. That's where everybody lives. Y'all, those were goals that were way down the line. Thrive has given me, and Lavelle's given me, the options to be able to meet those goals a lot earlier than I had ever anticipated. Some of the goals I'm going to show you here on my board are super small. Some of them are really big, to the point that when I wrote them down, y'all, I got tears in my eyes. So I just want to share some of those with y'all. I'm going to try to scoot my computer just a little bit closer. And for this vision board, I went down to the basement and I grabbed the biggest whiteboard that I got. I mean, hey, I'm a former teacher. We have all kinds of stuff, you know. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in here just a little bit. And maybe when you guys watch it on replay, you'll be able to see it better. But over here on this side, I have my goals. Some of them are faith related. Some of them are business related. You know, I want to tithe better. I'm not that great at tithing my Thrive income, and I've got to get better at that. And I know that if I do that, then, you know, it's what I'm called to do. Um, One of the things I love focusing on are the customers. And I'm going to say this really quick about customers. Don't ever judge. I talked about this last night at our local. You know, I taught school. I was a mom of 2 girls. I was a wife, busy lady all around Lebanon. And Tammy, the way she knew me was, oh, she's this mom that does it all. You know, if she had passed judgment on me and thought, hey, that girl's got it together, she would have never offered Thrive to me. And what she didn't know was that I'd been sitting my butt on the couch for 3 weeks. She had no idea. She just knew me as the put together mom. I wasn't put together. I was in my PJs. You know, I hadn't taken a shower for days. My husband was wondering what in the world had happened to me. So don't pass judgment. Always share. You know, help others. Now I have, you know, several hundred accounts, but my goal is I want to get 100 more free accounts. Those free accounts are just what's going to continue to feed your business. And I'm not going to read every single one of these to y'all, but there's some that I think are just super important for your business goals and your family goals and things like that. There's a couple down here. One of my health goals is to work out 4 times a week, and I have been very consistent with that. I'm getting ready to have hand surgery next month, so I know that's going to put a halt to me being able to lift weights. So I'm bound and determined I'm going to be in the gym 4 days a week at least until I have a halt for about 6 weeks. I want to retire Charlie. I want to build our emergency fund. The last 2, I want to pay off our house here. And I want to buy a farmhouse in Texas. That is so that we can simply be closer to our family. And the picture I'm going to post up here, y'all, it's my grandmother's house. I want to be able to buy my grandma's house that my grandfather built. And my dad and his parents lived in the garage in the wintertime while my grandpa built that house. I want to buy that house. I want to live in Pumpkin Center. I want to have a place. Y'all, that gave me tears. But it's a huge goal. But is it attainable? You bet it sure is, because leaving teaching, I never thought possible. And we'll look at where I am. It's like, what, 10:30 in the morning, and I'm at home. So now, as far as my business goes for the vision, you know, I want to encourage all of my promoters to submit their stories to Lavelle. And I'm challenging myself. I haven't submitted mine to Lavelle in 2 years. Guess what? It's a new day. Yours truly is going to submit it because I've lost 3 pant sizes with burn. It's time for Mama to submit her story. I want to help 4 of my promoters get 2 qualified and active promoters. That's a big deal, because when you can help them do that, that's going to push them close to 4K, and then it's going to feed into on to the next ones. I want to help them lead their own team. I want to help my promoters get that auto bonus and that 12K rank. We don't have that worry of a car payment on top of a house payment here. And by getting that car, we were able to gift a car to someone who didn't have one. And so the blessings that can come from that are not just you get to drive a nice car you don't have to worry about, but you can, the ripple effects are huge from what that can be. And you may think, well, my goal is only to have $50 to $100 extra a week. And you know what? That is awesome, because that $50 to $100 extra a week, it can pay your water bill. It can pay part of your electricity. It can pay, you know, part of your phone bill or whatever you have. That $50 to $100, those are those small goals that, you know what, are going to lead to big accomplishments. They really and truly are. It may pay off that little credit card that you need to get paid off. So don't think that anything is too small. Don't look at my goals and go, oh my gosh, those goals are too big for me. Guys, I have some little bitty goals in there as well. One of those little goals is getting to the gym, you know, but it's going to lead to bigger accomplishments for me. We have health issues in our family that trickle on down. I'm determined that the buck stops with me, you know, not going to allow that stuff to happen to me. I would love to have promoters on the getaways with me. And then in the states that I've listed, guys, I have friends in all of these places. You know, I've been blessed, and I was faithful whenever it came time to move across the country twice, and I didn't know anybody. So, you know, but I feel like it is a blessing, because I want to be able to help people thrive, and I want to help them build their team so that they can have those goals and visions that they want for themselves. And then, y'all, This one is huge. I mean, I need to like take a picture of one of those Lavelle videos and like Photoshop my face on it, because this is what I want to do. I want to be able to be one of those people that they interview and they put their video on YouTube. I mean, is that just the goofiest thing or what? But golly, I want to be there. I want that to be me. Now, this is the next part. It is so easy to put our goals on there and our visions and then go, oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't work hard enough. But you know what? Don't focus on the stuff that you maybe haven't done yet. Also focus on the stuff you have done. And maybe a couple months ago, one of our leaders said, write down your accomplishments. So I started writing them down. And I kept writing, and I was like, whoa. Yes, I taught children for 26 years, and that was an accomplishment in and of itself because I gave them the gift of education. But these were accomplishments that had to do with things I had done and accomplishments for me. I about died. I couldn't believe the things that I had actually achieved. All I could see is, well, Sandra, you didn't get this. Sandra, you didn't get that. There's a couple on here that I got to share with y'all. So there's a picture of a little card up there in the corner, and that is my room key from the Vegas trip 2.5 years ago when we stayed at the Mandalay Bay. And that was the trip that they invited 100 4Ks to go on, and I got invited. Couldn't believe it. I only got to go for 24 hours, but y'all, that trip changed my world. I saw the vision of the company. I got to hug Paul Gravette. He smells good, by the way. And the nicest man ever walked in, pointed at me, and there were like 50 people in the room, and you would have thought we were the only two having a conversation. I melted, absolutely melted, but I got to see the vision of the company, and that's when I knew, oh my gosh. And I want to be honest with y'all. On that trip, it was the middle of February. It was Valentine's Day. My QV at that point was like maybe 1,200. I hadn't even gotten to 4K yet that month. And on March 22nd of the very next month, I hit 12K and I hit my auto bonus. So believe in your dreams, believe that they can come true, because it is mind-boggling. Have faith, okay? Create that new mindset that you need in order to make those goals happen. And the only way that some of these things are going to happen is if you work that calendar challenge that Susan has, and she's kind of revamping her calendar challenge elite group a little bit. I know over the summer, and me especially, I did my calendar, but I didn't post it every week. Focus on those tasks that they've given us, the daily tasks and the weekly tasks. It just keeps you in the grind. It keeps you motivated. And just go back and remember how you felt when you started your Thrive. If you had to give it up today, would you be willing to give it up? If you can't remember what, Judy's over there going, no way, I'm not giving that up. If you're having a hard time remembering what it is about this product that made you so excited, take a couple of days off. I've tried. I made it one day. Can't do it. That's why I keep putting off my colonoscopy, because you can't thrive for like 3 days. I can't do that. But anyway, so Tammy, I hope that I've covered everything, and I hope I haven't like just rambled at the mouth, so to speak. But
you have done fabulous. You've done fabulous. I found something earlier, I think I screenshotted it like 3 months ago, I think. But, and of course, now that I'm unmuted, the dogs are going to bark. But I wanted to share it with you. If you guys don't know who Chastity Marie is, she's one of our 200K. She's amazing, so inspiring, like 24/7. I honestly don't know how she does it. But I actually came across this on her Instagram, which on Instagram, she's known as Messy Bun Millionaire, in case you want to find her. But this is just something, a post that she made. Hang on. Sorry. And it said, when someone starts complaining to me about their current situation and frustrations, my immediate responses are, number one, let me see your goals. If you don't know where you're headed, neither will anyone else. Number two, let me see how much time you spend daily on those goals. It's about showing up every single day and doing something. Can you hear me, or just the dog?
We can hear you.
Okay. Number three, When was the last time you accomplished one goal? Set a small goal that you can easily hit to remind yourself of what accomplishments feel like. Then set a goal that scares you. Successful people set goals. They see those goals every day and they work towards those goals every day. So what I take from this is what we started with. It's all about the vision. It's about setting goals. It's about dreaming big, but then it's about doing the work. And I think that happens so often where people, they'll spend time making a vision board and they'll hang it up and then they don't look at it. And I don't know if they just think because they printed the picture it's going to happen, because that's not how it works. You still have to put the work in. You still have to work for those goals. It's just like this was a topic last night at our local. Yes, Burn is helping people lose weight, but it's because they're doing the work. They're taking the product and making the right decision. And so it's the same thing with your vision. You can't just make a vision board and expect it to happen. You have to work for it. You have to put in the effort and time. So just take everything that Sandra's thrown at you. I love how you have goals, visions, and accomplishments all on one board. I like how you split that up. I think it's super important. Like she said, some of these things are just daily tasks that she needs to work on. And then some of these things are big, lifelong dreams that she already knows it's going to take a while to come together, but that's no reason to not have them on your board and not look at them and think about them and work towards it. And if there's one thing I could say for sure about your vision board that makes it so powerful, there are days when you are going to be frustrated. You're going to want to be like, is this worth it? I don't know. Somebody might make fun of you. Somebody might, maybe somebody doesn't get their order and they start bashing you or Lavelle on Facebook. There's going to be bad days. And no matter what's happening, that's the tiny thing. If you can look past that at your board, and like Sandra said, your why is on that board. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to deal with that stuff. You'll be able to, it's a bump in the road. We're going to get this fixed, or it's a bump in the road and it's a shame that person feels that way, but you have bigger fish to fry and you've got your reminder. So I would encourage you, if you've never made a board, to hop on it. It could be anything from, like Sandra said, something pretty to just words. If you have a board and you haven't updated that board in the last couple of months, and I said it, just the last couple months, it's time to look at that board and see if it, sometimes things need to come off your board. Sometimes you think you had a goal and now you're like, no, that's not really what I wanted. And you'll know if it's not what you wanted because it won't drive you to get up and go do the work. So if it's not really something that's still triggering you, pull it down and find something that will. And I say it's super easy, like find something that will. Spend time thinking about it. Spend time in the quiet. Like Sandra said, reach out and pray. Discern what it is that will bring you what you're looking for in life. You guys, and I don't mean to go holy roly, but Jesus didn't put you here for you to just have a so-so round, okay? Mm-hmm. Everything from the sun, the moon, the trees, and the animals, it's all for you. Everything you possibly want in this world is for you. So you got to go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so I did this on purpose. I've had my vision board in different places in the office, and I share this office with my husband. But I put my vision board next to this. Let's see if you guys can see it. When life becomes too hard to stand, kneel.
Nice. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. So I think that's actually the best place to really finish this. Like, I think that totally gets the point across. Like, this is about who you want to be, where you want to go, and how you want to do it. So Sandra, thank you. Because I know sometimes it's not easy to share things like your visions, especially in a Zoom. But I know that you've worked really hard on this, and I wanted people to get to see that vision boards come in all shapes and sizes. And I loved you being able to really share your story at the same time, because a lot of people don't know how different things were for you 3 years ago. So thank you for being on here today. And I'm trying to get another Zoom set up for next week. So you guys just watch for the notification. And this recording will be available later today. I've just got to do the uploading and all that jazz. So thank you a million, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.